Oh, that's an even worse angle. Ah! So I'm doing another one of these this week because and I'm live this time. You know what? I want to watch this. Where'd my remote? Where did my remote go? Uh, oh dear. Okay. My Roku remote is cat. No. Um, this is so. Okay. Ah, right there. Under where my skirt was. Okay. I want to watch Lewis Black, so we're not going to be listening to. Cat, stop! So, yeah, I used to, and I say used to because I'm not going to do it for a while, at least, you know, at least a while, possibly ever again. So I used to have my special Nigel time. Nigel is my sweet boy who can do no wrong, even though he was just drinking my Ripple milk. It's made from peas, but it's vegan, and I and I usually get almond milk, but I had a rebate for this, so I figured why the hell not. And but yes, Nigel is my sweet boy who does no wrong, and even when he was just drinking my milk just now, he does no wrong. So ooh, I need to get more vitamins. So what was happening is, I would give Nigel a little bit of my half and half, which is dairy because it's cheaper. But I like the flavor of almond milk better, so that's why I put my laxative in it. Um, and I do that rather than put it in juice because it's got a lot less sugar than juice. And okay, this stays out. So yeah, I would give Nigel a little bit of my half and half, which I put, in my coffee, and I would give him a little bit of that with my breakfast every morning. And then about a week and a half ago, the other two figured out that Nigel was getting a special breakfast treat and they weren't. So then they started stealing from Nigel. And um and so now it was more like about 2 weeks ago they figured it out. Maybe 2.5. I don't know. They figured it out fairly recently. I'm actually like impressed with how long it took them to figure this out, um but so yeah, they figured out that Nigel gets a special breakfast treat that I don't, expressly give to them. So then they'd start stealing from Nigel. So I had to be a little bit clever in like how I was giving it to Nigel, and um and yesterday I just decided to just wash my hands of the whole thing, and now Nigel doesn't get his special breakfast treat anymore because the other two will, like hover around me, before I even, sit down for my breakfast. And they will, what will they do? And like, they will like wait for me to, like pour it onto, like a saucer or whatever for Nigel. And, they will wait for him to get it, and then like give him like 5 laps from it, and then like drink the rest themselves. um Phoebe or Murnau, doesn't matter who does it, they're all doing it. And I don't like it. Nigel's my sweet boy, he's my special boy, and if they won't let him have it, then he can't have it. And that is really, really annoying because, he is my sweet boy. He's my sweet boy. I love him very much. And, I'm not going to pull that crap like parents say, and it's like, oh, I don't have any favorites. And yet they obviously, like nearly all parents have a favorite. Step parents don't always have a favorite, but parents, they've got a favorite. They've got a favorite, and kids know it. And I mean, yeah, you try not to, parents try not to show it so much unless you've got an only child. Then you've got no, I mean, if you've got only one kid and you don't have a favorite, that's very sad. But yeah, I'm not going to pull that, oh, I don't have favorites, because I do have a favorite. Nigel's my favorite. They know it. I love the other two, just wonderful. I love them. They're both my sweet kitties. They're all my sweet babies, but Nigel's my special little boy, and he thinks he's my boyfriend. He does. He's gotten to the point where he likes to just jump up on my trunk. I use a steamer trunk as my bench for sitting at my desktop computer, and so he's kind of like learned exactly like what positions I'll sit in when I'm about to jack off, and he will jump right up on the bench next to me and watch. He likes to watch. When Isaac and I were still together and doing things, he would watch. Oh, Isaac thought it was funny when I was just, talking to him about like how Nigel likes to watch me jack off. And, oh, it's funny when you're just like hearing about it and it's just like, something that happens to other people. But, when when he's involved and Nigel wants to watch, oh, now it's creepy. And, I guess I can't blame him. But, because, yeah, if it was something that, but we were already, like, doing things when I was telling him that Nigel liked to watch. And, I don't know, like, if it just didn't occur to him that this could be something that involves him in the near future. That's what the annoying thing was to me at the time when I was telling him about this. And, oh, I forgot to take my bedtime meds, apparently all this week, but that's okay. That just means more for next time. That means that much, longer before I have to buy more. Okay. What else do I want to go on about? Okay, let's see. Gabapentin. Jessin King was telling me in the comments about, oh, crap. I forget what it is. I forget what it is that, she said she was taking in the comments on one of my other med vlogs. But she was saying something about, like, she's got another one that, one for her, for her pain. And I think maybe I don't know. I don't know if it was just the pain or if she's also taking Abilify, or if it's somebody else who's taking Abilify. And, saying, yeah, it's, one of those things that, like, it doesn't feel like it's doing jack shit until you forget it for, a couple days. And then suddenly it's like, oh, fuck, what is wrong with my body? And, and for me, that is the gabapentin. And Nigel, please. Nigel, please move. Nigel, you cannot have... Oh my gosh, cat, don't eat my toast. Please, scooch. Thank you, Nigel. Yeah, and allergy pills. I'm almost done. That's like, so yeah, like when I'm not like, okay, there's where that went. Yeah, so like when I'm not like concentrating on, telling everybody what all's in this shit. Son of a bitch. Yeah, we're not even 10 minutes done. Almost 10 minutes. But yeah, this actually goes by pretty fast. And me talking right now, it's like not even slowing me down. This is about as fast as it normally goes. Cat's getting up in my shit and everything. Oh, that's right. There was about a minute I was looking for the remote too. So yeah, this, when you get into the habit of doing something long enough. I think I'm more of this shit too. On the good side, it's payday. That also means it's rent day. So yeah, for those of you not aware just yet, I am my primary income is Social Security Disability, which is not SSI. A lot of people think those are the same thing. It's not. Social Security is federal. Social Security pays out to retirees and the disabled. SSI is supplemental security income, and that is organized by the state, and what you get is determined, if anything, is determined on a state-by-state basis. Yeah, I gotta refill this very, very soon. But this is the Adderall, so that's an amphetamine, and I mean it even says D-amphetamine, and D-amphetamine is for dexamphetamine, and that's actually a funny story because one of my favorite, non-goth bands is Dexy's Midnight Runners, and that's never properly had an apostrophe. It's been misspelled a couple times with an apostrophe on singles, but no, if you look up their albums, it's never an apostrophe when it's done proper. It's never been an apostrophe on a studio album or even their live albums or their compilations, honestly. So yeah, like when it's done right, it's never been with an apostrophe. It's always been Dexys, no apostrophe. Like there is no Dexy. I love Bob's Burgers, but sometimes Bob is wrong. So Dexys is short for dexamphetamine. And how many is in here? Okay, I can probably wait on that. So Dexy's Midnight Runners is, obviously like a little, slang for a speed freak. And, because they did begin as a soul band, and they do very much have a soul sound to them. Their later, Celtic influence stuff. In fact, Kevin Rowland calls it Celtic soul. So yeah, like I'm kind of entertained that, one of my favorite bands is Dexy's Midnight Runners, which are named after dexamphetamines, and now that's one of my prescriptions is dexamphetamines. So, gotta take mine, and let's see. Okay, okay, we've got a week in there, and then, okay, so 6 days after today, so 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half. Okay, yeah. I'll check my date book, which is behind the phone, which this is recording from now. So, but yeah, like one of my favorite bands is Dexy's Midnight Runners, and just like, through sheer coincidence, I end up prescribed Dexy's as a for my ADHD, because that's just how you do, right? Okay, so I do it 4 at a time. Get back here. And then the last 3. So I use, actually this is like 5 ounces up to here, so I usually go to about here. So this is a juice glass. This is a classic juice glass. You really don't need any more juice than that. Like before the orange juice, the orange growers were campaigning with the oh my gosh, this is like, I didn't fill it up to the brim, but they drank a whole lot, all 3 of them combined. But yeah, so before the Orange Groves, decided to campaign for a big tall glass every day, and that was in the 50s. So prior that, juice, like fruit juice, was kind of a bourgeois thing. At the very, most, it was kind of like the dessert of breakfast. It would be like, your one little, sweet thing. And it would always be, like even like the upper classes, would serve it in a smaller glass because, it's just, even like all natural juice is naturally very sweet. And, you don't want too many sweets, with your breakfast. I mean, if you're going to have fruit with your breakfast, you're going to have like fruit, not, this, extra fancy high cat, this extra fancy thing. So like juice was very expensive before the 50s. And, so like I said, it would be like kind of the dessert of breakfast, something you'd have with, like your Sunday brunch or, like after church or, whatever. Like, or like on special occasions, like give little kids juice instead of wine. It got a little bit more popular during Prohibition, but, still, it's not something that you saw all the time, and it was certainly not something that you'd have even, like, this much of a glass with, for breakfast. So yeah, like, the idea of, like, like when it says, like, so, like, when it says serving size 8 ounce on your bottle of orange juice, or in my case, cranberry juice, this time it was the White Cran Peach, the Kroger branded stuff. So yeah, like, you really should, like, whatever it says on the serving size of your bottle of juice, you want to cut that in half. So that's what I do. And so then, laxative with this, and the Ripple pea milk. The flavor is, like, very neutral and bland. As far as flavor goes, it's like, there are things, there are things that I like the flavor of better, especially for the price of this. Like, I normally do not get this unless I'm getting, like, a rebate or a coupon, and it was on sale, plus I had a rebate. I did have a coupon, but the coupon expired, but at that point, I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm already at the checkout, so fuck it. So yeah, like, for the price, it's not that great. It's not that great. I do prefer almond milk. Almond milk, we're looking at about $2.50 for the Kroger branded stuff, and that's for a half gallon. So the price is about on par with dairy milk. Granted, you can get dairy milk by the gallon on, for about the same price. And it's on sale all the time, so sometimes it's less. Unfortunately, I do not use milk. I do not use dairy milk that fast. I really don't. So yeah, like, if you're buying it by the half gallon, I do not use it fast enough, to use a gallon before it turns on me. In which case, it's like, yeah, technically, like, I saved, whatever in the long run, like, by the ounce, because I think, like, a gallon of dairy milk is about the same price as a half gallon of almond milk. We're looking, both Kroger branded stuff. A half gallon of dairy might be something like 50 cents less, but I prefer the flavor of almond milk for, just drinking by itself. If it's going in coffee, I don't care. If it's going in coffee, it's like, fine. I'll just, like, use half and half, because that's like $2. Granted, it's $2 for a quart, but $2 for a quart of half and half is a lot cheaper than $2.50 for a pint of the vegan equivalent. So yeah, like, I know there are places in the US, and there are, where, even in the US, and, where get away from, oh my gosh, I put laxative in that. You do not need that. Oh my gosh. The last thing these cats need is to shit more. Granted, they don't have diarrhea issues like my ex Scott, he had a cat named Fat Bob, and Fat Bob died when he was about 20 years old. And his last 5 years, he had some um persistent, though sometimes it would clear up for like a couple days. He had some persistent diarrhea issues because he had intestinal cancer. Um, Other than the diarrhea, he seemed mostly healthy. Most of his last 5 years. He was even given like a prognosis at the age of 15. Like he's got 6, maybe 12 good months left if the medication keeps his appetite up. That cat lived an extra 5 years. In fact, the main reason he lived, 5 years rather than 4, like his last year, he was not doing so well. But every time Scott and I would talk about like maybe like, oh, Bob's not doing so well this week. Bob's not been doing so well this last few days. If he gets through the weekend, like maybe we should think about taking him to the vet for for euthanasia, or like even when we started saying the humane choice, Bob knew what we were talking about, and he would like sometimes he would just like run in from the next room and start yelling at us, like specifically yelling at me. Like even if Scott brought it up, even if Scott said, like maybe we should think about putting Bob down. He's not been doing so well this week, like jumping up onto the chairs and everything. Like even if Scott said it, Bob would yell at me as if to say, "You put that idea in his head. He would never think that if it wasn't for you. You've always wanted to get rid of me." And we're like, okay, Bob, nobody tells you what to do. You tell you what to do. And he did tell him what to do. Like up to the, like this is the only cat I've lived with who has like truly died of natural causes. Let's see, there was one of the barn cats who got into a fight with my dad's rooster and died. Yeah, chickens are not good. They are basically like little tiny tyrannosaurs. But yeah, he got in a fight with one of the roosters. Let's see. My stepmother's cat Willow got hit by a truck. Teddy, who was my cat when I was like 5 through 18, and my mother's cat Cleopatra, who lived to the age of 22. But both of them had euthanasia. Let's see, Vermin euthanasia. That was my cat when I was living with Scott. Let's see, Mr. Midnight euthanasia, and he's up on a little shelf on the wall now, with his ashes. And my friend Danae, she did this little felt doll, kind of a little memorial for Mr. Midnight. Took her about a year to get him to me because there was some issues with the there was a house fire. Thankfully, she was able to save a whole lot of her stuff, including that. And then there was like an issue of just like because she wasn't charging me for it. This was a gift. And I understand like with her own shop and doing things. So like she got him to me at Convergence this year. That was great. But what else? Oh yeah. So like all of my cats like have had euthanasia. Bob technically wasn't my cat, but it's like it was like I knew him like 15 of his 20 years. I knew him like 15 of his 20 years. It was like he was like we were family at that. He and I were family at that point. I was his wicked stepfather who was trying to turn Scott against him. But yeah, like Bob died of truly natural causes because he was just too stubborn to let us take him to the vet. Like I mean, I guess you could say, oh well, maybe he was like trying to say, that he just wanted to go peacefully. I'm like, I don't know, this cat, and sometimes it's like, yeah, like sometimes you just know a cat and what they're trying to convey, and Bob was definitely trying to convey do not want. Nigel is wicked smart, and when the time comes for him, it's going to be a very tough decision for me, but yeah, I think Nigel's kind of my Bob. in many ways. Like, both of these cats are freaky smart, very freaky smart. Like, to the point, like, I sometimes question my own sanity. Is like, is this really just a cat being smart? Or, yeah, it's got to be the cat being smart because other people are seeing it too. And plus, they're both perverts. They were both perverts. Bob didn't like to watch Scott and I making the sexy, but he did have an unnatural love for stuffed animals. And I don't even know why I've still got her. Well, actually, I've had this one since fourth grade. That's the big reason. But so I've had her since fourth grade, and for the longest time, she was Bob's favorite of my own stuffed animals. Is that? That is that. And then we got this little toy monkey that screams. And we found it on Craigslist, and we decided to get it off of Craigslist for Bob. First, we thought it was a little bit bigger than it was. But the other reason was like the listing was just so entertaining, something like, screaming toy monkey from the pits of hell, things you can do with it, drive at least 3 miles from my house and chuck it out the window, summon Satan from the bowels of hell. And so yeah, like, actually there's a video I've got on here. Oh wait, did I make that private? I might have made it private. I can make it public again. But yeah, so there's a video. Bob makes love to screaming toy monkey, and even though the monkey is way too small for him to comfortably hump, and this cat was neutered. This cat was neutered when he was about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years old. So this cat was definitely neutered, and yet he still would and he loved it because it screamed. Like, he would hear this thing come screaming from across the house and come running at top speed, even his last years, like, as top as he could do the speed. Like, he would come running just so he could, fuck this monkey. it was hilarious and disturbing all at once. And my friend Morgan, I showed him the video of Bob humping the monkey, and he said, wow, if I was not already an atheist, actually, no, like, this I am an atheist, but this is definitely proof of a God. This is proof of a cruel, sadistic God that wants to torture us. And okay, we're coming in on 28 minutes here. So, okay, I guess I'm going to go actually eat my breakfast. My toast is now cold. I haven't even drank any of this yet. And I need to get back to Daily Show and watch some Lewis Black. All right, bats and kisses, everybody. Take care and goodbye. Turn off.